Hello, this is Coach Christian, and today we're going to be working on the 9v9 formation, mainly in the defensive build-up so that we can move the ball from our pitch, from our defensive pitch to the middle third, and then to the attacking third. Okay, let's begin. So first off, we need to get into the formation. So we're going to switch it really quickly over to this new window, and you're going to see that the ball's here. And then typically what we see is the goalkeeper moves over to one side or moves over to the other side. But that creates a problem. And that problem is that the net now is wide open and anyone can have a better chance at scoring. So one of the first things we want to do is we want to bring this guy back here. So what that leaves us is with another player coming down. However, this doesn't give us a lot of options because every player is marked and it doesn't create opportunities. So we're trying to create opportunities. So one thing that we could do is bring the other player out wide. Um, Another thing we can do is bring this player to the side and then bring this player down here. So now we have double the coverage. Now the benefit of this is that now these guys are going to be like, okay, I got to go over here. I got to go put some pressure. Let's just play this out. Let's say the ball, we got to pass. Where's the pass? Free. All right, here we go. So there's a pass right here. And then the ball goes from here to here. What most likely is to happen is that they're going to react, the opposite team. They're going to come this way. This person's going to come in here, and this person's going to try to get in here in position. Now, what can we do as a team? Well, we can't be up here waiting for the ball. We have to create some options. We can check in with 5 and 9. 6 should also be checking into this position. 7 should be sliding in. Everybody should be kind of shifting over. Same with our players. You can see they're moving. They're all moving. They're sliding because the ball's here. Now, this player is going to have two options. This first player is going to be able to this player is going to be able to pass it this way. You can pass it back, right? That way, this player moves this direction or this direction or this direction. But in this position, they can see the whole pitch and they know who's going to come at them. And that's going to allow us to make some plays and build up. So let's say the ball now moves here. This player is going to come here, right? They're all going to start moving up. So now we're going to chase the pass. Now, if we're quick with our movements, we can move this ball to this position. And this player can start making a run, right? This means this player can come in here and support. When this guy goes here, pass goes here. This guy's probably moving to the ball. So now there's an opening. So now he has to backtrack. A quick pass brings it to 7. 7's in position. Now 9 shouldn't be standing around. He should be like, I know what's going to happen. They're going to pass the ball. So now we have moved it from our defensive third to the middle third. We're here. Now we're moving over here. Now all our players, this is usually when I'm saying defense up, defense up. You'll see all the players moving to a better position. So now we're all running up. The ball's here. Typically what happens is we start dribbling. Not an ideal because you have too many players coming at you. But typically that's what happens. For some reason, we like to hold on to the ball. What we need to do is see that this run is happening and anticipate the run. Now this player, since they already started running, they're going to be able to get there quicker because this player is going this direction. I have to backtrack, and this player has to take a big run. So now we have pulled two players in this position. This player now is on our attacking third. And this happened a lot during our match. This is excellent. Now we have to shift our entire field from a defensive position to an offensive stance. We're not going to cover the offensive, but this is how we would transition if we were to move the ball from here. Now let's move back a little bit, right? Let's get this organized again so that we can um, see how this could happen again, right? So we're going to have the players back where they started. Let's say we have the ball here, right? And now this guy's over here. This guy, this guy could probably stay here too. We can have the goalie do it, but that is really limiting us to this move right here. Okay, so that there are some risks. Obviously, we're playing in our defensive, so we have to be quick with our touches and we have to be like solid with the passes. So let's play this out on the right side. Now leaving the midfield, the defensive center or the center back here. So now we're moving this players to support. This player would go wide. Now the reason they want to go wide is they want to stretch the field so that they, because if we don't stretch the field and we're like next to each other, one player can block two players, right? That is not good math right there. Not for us. Good for them, not for us. What we want to make them is to commit to the ball so that they get out of position and we can move up the field. So let's say the ball goes here. Now this player is really close to this guy. Passing it back would be risky because now he could come in at this angle. But we could pass it up and this player can be support and we can pass it to the side because this player is going to jump in as soon as they get a chance. There's not a lot of time to turn and dribble. So we have to make sure that we make those passes quickly, as soon as we can, and we see an opening. Now, if you have room, if nobody's pressuring you, that's good. But this guy's probably coming here, and then he's going to move here to close the gap here. At this point, you can bring it back into the open spot where the player just left, if nobody has moved in position, but most likely these players are all rushing back. Nobody's going to stay put. And then this guy has to make a decision. Do I switch to go up the left or go on 8? Now, typically, I want you guys going outside. So we're already in. We don't need to mix it in where everybody else is coming. So we can bring back to 8. At this point, this guy has made a decision. Okay, I got to go here and I got to go here. What could happen? Well, 8 can turn and run. If they can't turn and run, they can pass back, give and go. And the give, as soon as you get the give, you start getting ready to sprint, and the ball and the timing has to happen. The ball goes first, then you cross that line so you're not offside, and then you take the lead. Now we're on their side of the field, and we can get into a potential scoring opportunity. Now I know I'm moving them all one at a time, but this is how they probably would be moving based on the scenarios that I'm building. Is this going to happen verbatim? No, they're not. They're not. But we want to make sure we're building up the wings and the wide angles. We can rely on the middles and our midfielders, but really it's just to build it up to get over that striker or winger. Hopefully, this information has given you some ideas of how we can progress. It really comes down to being able to do those 1-2 touches and passes and anticipating that a player is going to be in that open spot. Let's do it one more time, but this time we're going to bring the player number 4. Now, every now and then, we'll ask the player to give a nice kick. All right, so we're going to have 6 and 5 here, and 7's here, 8, bring him back. Okay, so in this situation, let's say you don't want to have a player wide open to take the ball and run with it. And we saw that happen. We were like, oh, we were gonna push forward. Oops, undo that. Gonna push forward and then let this player kick the ball over. But what could happen in that situation? Well, the ball didn't go over and it landed here. prime opportunity for anyone to take a shot, right? They just go and boom, aim for the goal. Not ideal. So how do we work that out, right? Well, we open up here, create an option here. This person gets in front of these players, right? Because then they can pass the ball, and this player is going to try to get around. We can pass outside. Then we can go up the line, right? So, for example, let me get this player can go here, and then this player can go here, and then up. Whether they dribble or they pass, that would be one way to zigzag around this. Um, we don't want them going to the middle, so 7 is there to create space by moving the player. Now, if the other 7 gets in front, now double the pressure. So we really need to be able to move that. What's going to happen though is once that ball gets moved from here to here, now these guys are going to keep pressing. Now there's going to be an open space here. Number 2, or the player on this side will be able to pass it here where 7 could go. This player is probably going to come down to this spot, and this player is going to come down here. There's going to be an open space. There's always an open space. When people are moving to go to the ball, they're moving and they're leaving something open. There's always an opportunity. Yeah, it's pressure, but we need to be able to see where the openings are. And sometimes it won't be an easy pass. Sometimes we'll have to pass it back. You do have support here. You have a triangle, and we need to rely on those triangles to keep the control, right? We can pass the ball around them. They'll keep going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But we have to be sure on those 1-2 touches, you know, because this person's gonna get once they see that happen one too many times, this guy's gonna commit. It's like that's not gonna happen again. 6 can pop it out here, 2 can kick it. Now it's only 1v1. This is an optimal situation where the ball gets put in this situation because then we can overtake them or make a pass to the open spot. Where's the open spot? Here. Where should 7 go? Here. Again, it's all about how we build it up. But we can't do it if we are losing the ball. So maintaining control of the ball, maintaining our passes as a 1-2 touch and then a pass ensures that we control the rhythm. And as we control the rhythm, they get tired because they're going to be chasing the ball while we passing the ball. And that is going to be smart soccer. That's what we want to be doing. Getting into those triangles, getting into shapes that allow us to create a triangle, and that movement then is easy. You can go back and forth, let them make the mistakes, let them commit, and then take a run. And then we can move up. I'm not going to focus on the offensive part because once we're here, our team is capable of shifting gears. And I've seen it. Thank you so much for your time. Talk to you later.